I am Dr. James Calloway, and after more than 40 years in medicine, I have seen just about everything when it comes to human behavior. From my early years in medical school to decades of treating patients, studying psychology, and understanding what truly makes people tick, I have learned one undeniable truth. Not everyone around you has good intentions. I have spent my life diagnosing illnesses, but the hardest diseases to spot are not physical. They are the toxic personalities, the manipulators, the ones who drain your energy, break your confidence, and leave you questioning your own reality. These people do not come with warning labels, but their behavior follows patterns. And once you know what to look for, you will never ignore these red flags again. Today, I am bringing you the 9 evident signs that an evil person might be right next to you. This is not just theory. This is decades of experience working with people from all walks of life. I have seen the damage toxic individuals can do, and I have also seen what happens when people learn to recognize the danger before it is too late. By the end of this video, you will have the knowledge to protect yourself, set boundaries, and take control of your emotional well-being. So stay with me, because this is one lesson that could change your life. Welcome to Age-Wise. Let's begin. Sign number 1. They derive pleasure from others' pain. You ever meet someone who gets a little too excited when bad things happen to other people? Maybe they smirk when a coworker gets in trouble or laugh a little too hard at someone else's expense. It's not just a bad sense of humor, it's a giant flashing red flag. Picture this. You are overwhelmed at work, drowning in a mountain of tasks, and instead of lending a hand, a coworker watches from the sidelines, smirking at your struggle. Or maybe you open up to a friend about something tough you are going through, and instead of support, they make a snide joke about it. It stings, right? That is because normal, compassionate people do not enjoy seeing others suffer. Now, these people are not just insensitive. They are dangerous. Some of them go beyond passive cruelty and actually create drama just to sit back and watch the chaos unfold. They gossip, stir the pot, and manipulate situations just to see people squirm. And the worst part, if you confront them, they will play it off like it was just a joke or claim you are the one being too sensitive. Trust me, this is not the kind of energy you want in your life. If someone consistently finds joy in others' misfortune, distance yourself before you become their next source of entertainment. And speaking of control, that brings us to our next sign, because some of these people do not just enjoy your suffering. They want to control every part of your life. Let's talk about it. Sign number 2. They have an insatiable need to control your life. Ever had that one person in your life who just has to control everything you do? At first, they might disguise it as helping or guiding you, but over time, you realize they are not offering advice. They are dictating your choices, your actions, even your thoughts. And if you ever push back, they guilt trip, manipulate, or even punish you for stepping out of line. Psychologists call this coercive control, and according to Dr. Evan Stark, a leading expert on psychological abuse, this kind of behavior is far more dangerous than people realize. He explains that control-driven individuals do not just limit your freedom. They break down your confidence, isolate you, and make you question your own ability to make decisions. I learned this lesson the hard way. Years ago, I had a friend who always had to have the final say. If I made plans, they would change them. If I voiced an opinion, they would shut it down. At first, I brushed it off as them being a strong personality, but then I noticed something. Whenever I did something without their input, they would suddenly get cold, distant, even a little passive-aggressive. It was as if I had disobeyed them. That was when I realized this was not friendship. It was control. If someone in your life is constantly making decisions for you instead of with you, that is a huge red flag. True friends and loved ones respect your choices. They do not try to dominate them. Pay attention to how people react when you assert your independence. If they cannot handle it, they do not have your best interests at heart. Have you ever dealt with someone like this? Let me know in the comments. And if this is hitting home, stick around, because up next, we are talking about something even more unsettling. Sometimes, the biggest warning sign is not what someone does. It is how they make you feel when you are around them. Sign number 3, you experience a strange feeling in their presence. Have you ever been around someone who just made you feel off? You could not explain why, but something about them drained your energy, made your stomach turn, or left you feeling uneasy. It was not because of anything they said or did. It was just them. This is not your imagination. Your subconscious picks up on subtle cues that your conscious mind might not immediately recognize. Maybe it is their body language, their tone of voice, or the way their eyes linger a little too long. Perhaps they say all the right things, but something about the way they say them feels rehearsed, calculated, almost too perfect. These are the people who can make a warm, lively room suddenly feel cold the moment they step inside. It is not just discomfort, it is exhaustion. Spending time around them leaves you feeling mentally drained, as if all your energy has been siphoned away. You find yourself second-guessing everything you say, carefully choosing your words, and walking on eggshells, even when there is no obvious reason to. That is because deep down, some part of you knows something is not right. Some people radiate negativity in a way that is almost tangible. They do not need to shout, insult, or argue to create tension. Their presence alone is enough to shift the entire mood of a room. If you have ever felt yourself tense up when someone walks in or suddenly feel relieved when they leave, pay attention to that feeling. Your instincts are telling you something, and sometimes that gut feeling is the only warning you will get. Because the most dangerous people do not always come with obvious red flags. Some of them hide in plain sight, blending in, smiling, and pretending to care. That is why the next sign is so important. It is not about what they do to you. It is about what they never do. Take responsibility. Sign number 4, they never take responsibility for their actions. Have you ever met someone who always has an excuse? No matter what happens, it is never their fault. If they miss a deadline, it was because someone else did not remind them. If they hurt your feelings, it was because you are too sensitive. If they fail at something, the world was simply against them. These people are experts at dodging blame, twisting situations, and making sure they always come out looking innocent. 2. First, it might seem harmless. Maybe they are just a little defensive or have trouble admitting when they are wrong. But over time, this behavior becomes toxic. When someone refuses to take responsibility, they leave a trail of destruction behind them. They damage relationships, cause chaos, and hurt people without ever feeling the need to make things right. And the worst part, they make you feel like the problem. You might find yourself constantly apologizing for things you did not do. You might start questioning whether you are overreacting when they clearly crossed a line. You might even take on the role of fixing their mistakes just to keep the peace. But here is the truth. Someone who never owns up to their actions will never change because in their mind, they are never wrong. Think about the last time someone in your life refused to take responsibility. How did it make you feel? Exhausted, frustrated, confused? That is because dealing with these people is like trying to hold water in your hands. No matter how hard you try to reason with them, the truth slips right through their fingers. This is not just about avoiding blame. It is about avoiding growth. A person who cannot admit their mistakes is a person who will never learn from them. And if they cannot take responsibility for their own actions, they certainly will not take responsibility for how they treat you. But that is not the only red flag to watch out for. Some people do more than just dodge accountability. They lie so easily and so often that you start to wonder if they even know what the truth is anymore. And that brings us to the next sign. Sign number 5, they lie constantly, even when they do not have to. Everyone has told a little white lie at some point. Maybe to spare someone's feelings or to avoid an awkward situation. But there is a big difference between occasional fibs and someone who lies as easily as they breathe. These people do not just lie when they are in trouble. They lie for sport. They lie to manipulate, to control, and sometimes just because they can. At first, their lies might seem small. They exaggerate a story, twist the truth, or leave out key details. But then you start to notice patterns. Their stories do not add up. They tell different versions of events depending on who they are talking to. One day, They swear they have never been to a certain place, and the next, they are reminiscing about the time they were there. The scariest part is that these people are often incredibly convincing. They look you in the eye, speak with confidence, and act as if their lies are the absolute truth. And when you catch them, they gaslight you. They make you doubt what you heard, what you saw, and sometimes even what you know to be true. Over time, this can wear you down. You might start questioning your own memory. You might feel guilty for even thinking they would lie to you. That is exactly what they want. The more they can distort reality, the more control they have over you. But here is the truth. A person who lies compulsively does not respect you. They do not respect the truth, and they certainly do not respect the trust you have given them. If someone in your life constantly lies, manipulates, and twists reality, the best thing you can do is walk away. Because trust is like glass. Once it is shattered, it is never quite the same again. But lying is just one way these people show their lack of empathy. Some take it even further. Not only do they lie without remorse, but they also feel nothing when they hurt others. And that is exactly what we need to talk about next. Sign number 6. They feel no remorse for hurting others. Most people feel a twinge of guilt when they hurt someone, even by accident. They apologize, they try to make things right, and they genuinely care about how their actions affect others. But some people, they do not feel a thing. No guilt, no shame, no remorse. These are the people who can insult you, betray you, or completely destroy your trust and still sleep soundly at night. If you ever try to confront them, they will either brush it off, make excuses, or worse, blame you for feeling hurt in the first place. You will hear things like, "You are too sensitive," or "I did not mean it like that." But notice what is missing. They never actually apologize. The absence of remorse is a dangerous trait because it means they have no reason to change. If they do not feel bad about what they have done, what is stopping them from doing it again? And again, and again? You might see this play out in subtle ways. Maybe they laugh when someone else is in pain. Maybe they enjoy watching people argue instead of trying to calm things down. Or maybe they act as if your emotions are nothing more than an inconvenience to them. Whatever the case, one thing is clear. Your pain does not matter to them. It is not just about what they do. It is about what they do not do. They do not take responsibility. They do not make amends. They do not care. And that is a terrifying combination. But there is something even darker to watch out for. Some people do not just lack remorse. They actively go out of their way to cause pain. They do not just ignore suffering. They enjoy it. And that is what we need to talk about next. Sign number 7. They enjoy being cruel. There is a difference between being thoughtless and being deliberately cruel. Some people make mistakes, say the wrong thing, or act selfishly without meaning to cause harm. But others, they hurt people on purpose, and they enjoy it. These are the people who mock, belittle, and humiliate others, not in the heat of the moment, but as a habit. They make cutting remarks disguised as jokes, pointing out your flaws in a way that makes it just difficult enough to call them out. If you react, they roll their eyes and say you are overreacting. If you stay silent, they take it as permission to keep going. You might see this in a workplace bully who constantly puts down coworkers, or in a so-called friend who always has something negative to say about your appearance, your choices, or your accomplishments. You might even notice it in a family member who seems to take pleasure in bringing up your past mistakes or embarrassing you in front of others. Cruel people are not just insensitive, they are calculated. They know exactly what they are doing, and they do it because they like the feeling of power it gives them. Sometimes it is verbal, other times it is emotional. They might deliberately exclude you, ignore you, or treat you like you do not matter just to see how you react. Over time, this wears you down. You start questioning your worth. You start wondering if you really are too sensitive, too weak, too much of whatever they have accused you of being. But here is the truth. You are not the problem. They are. A person who chooses cruelty is a person who does not deserve a place in your life. If someone consistently makes you feel small, worthless, or inferior, do not waste time trying to make them change. Walk away. Because the longer you stay, the more damage they will do. But here is where it gets even scarier. Some cruel people are easy to spot. They are loud, aggressive, and obvious. But others? They hide behind a mask of charm, pretending to care while secretly feeling nothing for anyone but themselves. And that is what we need to discuss next. Sign number 8. They have no empathy for others. Empathy is what makes us human. It is the ability to put ourselves in someone else's shoes, to feel their joy, their pain, and their struggles as if they were our own. But some people, they do not have that. They do not care what others are going through because they cannot or won't feel it. At first, this might not be obvious. Many people who lack empathy have learned to fake it. They know the right words to say. They know when to nod, when to offer a forced, "I understand," and when to pretend they care. But if you look closely, the cracks start to show. You will notice that when you are struggling, they seem bored or impatient. If something terrible happens to someone else, they shrug it off like it is nothing. They might even laugh or roll their eyes when others are upset, as if emotions are some kind of weakness. And if they do show concern, it is usually only when there is something in it for them. You will also see it in the way they treat people who cannot do anything for them. Watch how they speak to waiters, cashiers, or strangers they have no reason to impress. A person with real empathy treats everyone with respect, not just the people they think are important. Without empathy, there is no real kindness, no true love, and no genuine friendship. A person who cannot feel for others is incapable of forming deep, meaningful connections. They might charm, manipulate, or pretend to care, but at the end of the day, they see people as nothing more than tools to be used and discarded. If you have ever wondered why someone in your life seems so cold, so unaffected by your feelings, or so indifferent to the struggles of those around them, take that as a warning. They are not going to change, and the longer you keep them close, the more they will drain you. But there is one final sign that may be the most toxic of all. It is not just about how they treat you. It is about how they feel when you succeed. And if you have ever had someone who secretly hated to see you happy, you already know what I am talking about. Sign number 9. They are consumed by envy and resentment. A good friend, a loving partner, or a supportive family member will celebrate your success. They will cheer you on when you accomplish something, feel proud when you achieve your goals, and lift you higher when life is going your way. But some people, they hate seeing others happy, especially when that happiness is not theirs. Envy is a powerful poison, and it turns some people into bitter, resentful shadows of themselves. They cannot stand to see someone else succeed because deep down, they see life as a competition. If you are winning, they must be losing. If you are happy, it somehow takes away from their own worth. And that resentment builds like a slow-burning fire. At first, they might hide it. They will force a smile, give you a half-hearted congratulations, and act like they are happy for you. But pay attention to what happens next. Do they downplay your success? Do they suddenly start nitpicking, making little comments about how lucky you are or how things just seem to fall into your lap? Do they try to make you feel guilty for having something they do not? Or maybe they go the other way. Instead of attacking your achievements, they start trying to one-up you. If you tell them about something exciting, they immediately shift the focus back to themselves. If you are proud of something, they feel the need to prove they have done it better. No matter what, they cannot let you have the moment, and if their envy grows too strong, it can turn into something worse. Sabotage. They might start planting doubts in your mind, discouraging you, or even taking active steps to make sure you do not succeed. A jealous coworker might spread rumors about you. A resentful friend might accidentally forget to pass along an important opportunity. Bitter family member might try to convince you that your dreams are unrealistic. This is not love. This is not friendship. This is not someone who wants the best for you. This is someone who sees your happiness as a threat. And the longer you keep them in your life, the more they will drag you down. If you have someone like this around you, take a step back and ask yourself one question. Do you really want to spend your time and energy defending your success to someone who should be celebrating it? Because life is too short to waste on people who secretly hope you fail. Final thoughts. If you recognize these signs in someone close to you, it is time to listen to your instincts. Toxic people do not change unless they want to, and even then, it takes years of work. Do not sacrifice your peace, your happiness, or your well-being trying to fix someone who refuses to see a problem. Instead, surround yourself with people who lift you up, who celebrate your success, and who make you feel safe. Life is hard enough without carrying the weight of someone else's negativity on your shoulders. If this video resonated with you, let me know in the comments. Have you ever dealt with someone like this? What was the moment that made you realize you needed to walk away? And if you found this helpful, make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Because the best way to protect yourself from toxic people is to recognize them before they have the chance to do damage. Stay safe, stay strong, and remember, your peace of mind is worth everything.